You ever have one of those days where you're just trying to keep your head above water, and then out of nowhere the universe throws you the kind of test you'd only expect to see in a movie? Yeah, that was me, Jake Butler, the guy everyone in Redwater's Foundry District figured was just another failed mechanic, running his life out of an old, grease-stained garage that most folks couldn't even find on a map anymore. Nobody thought much of me. Hell, most days I didn't think much of myself. But the night that the biggest blackout in California history hit and Grandview Medical Center went dark, well, that was the night everything flipped, and I wound up crawling through a flooded basement, fighting to keep the lights on for people who'd never know my name. And wouldn't you know it, the one life I saved turned out to belong to the very woman whose company wrecked my dad's life 2 decades before. Yeah, sometimes the universe really knows how to pile it on. You know what I mean? So, picture this. November wind howling through the cracks in my garage, rain coming in sideways, thunder shaking the windows. I'm under a busted '98 Civic, hands numb, wishing I could just call it a day, but I promised old Mrs. Henderson I'd have her car ready by morning. Tommy, that's my apprentice, kid's only 19, still believes hard work gets you somewhere, pokes his head in and says his mom's freaking out about the storm warnings. Power companies telling everyone to hunker down, expect outages. I just grunt and keep working, because what else am I going to do? Rosa, my ex, had taken our son Carlos to her mom's for the weekend, so it was just me and the ghosts in that drafty shop. If the power went out, well, I had a lantern. That's life when you're used to getting by on scraps. But you could feel something in the air, that kind of tension that makes your skin crawl. The smart thing would have been to pack up, head upstairs to my tiny apartment, and wait out the storm. But when you grow roots in a place like this, you don't just walk away because things get rough. Tommy asked why I never left for somewhere better, and all I could tell him was, sometimes pulling up roots means killing what's left of you. That's just the truth. And then, snap, lights go out. The kind of pitch black you only get when the whole city loses power. My phone buzzes with some emergency alert, and Tommy's face goes white. He asks if I want him to call the power company, but we both know that's not going to do anything. Time for you to get home. I tell him, trying to sound tougher than I feel. Your mom will be worried. He hesitates, but finally heads out, leaving me with the darkness, the wind, and the steady hum of regret. That's when my phone rings. Unknown number. I almost let it go, but in my line of work, emergencies come in all shapes. It's a woman, Maria Ramirez from Grandview Medical Center. Their backup generators failed, people on life support, and someone told her I worked on military generators in the Army. I try to tell her I'm just a car guy, not a hospital tech, but she's desperate. Says everyone else is unreachable. 37 patients' lives depend on power, and she's begging me for help. And just like that, every excuse melts away. That old feeling, like when I was a kid watching my dad struggle to keep his dignity after he got laid off. It hits me right in the chest. Sometimes you don't get to play it safe. You just step up. So I pack my tools and drive out into the kind of storm that makes you wonder if the world's ending. Streets are rivers, trees snapping like matchsticks, and it takes me twice as long to get to the hospital as it should. But I get there. Grandview looks like a fortress under siege, emergency lights flickering, people running everywhere. Maria meets me at the door, looking like she hasn't slept in days, and leads me down to the basement where Frank, head of maintenance, hands like sandpaper, nerves shot, is wrestling with 3 dead generators, 1 sputtering, 2 stone cold. Critical care running on batteries that are draining fast. The pressure? Man, it's suffocating. You can hear the chaos upstairs, ventilators running low, doctors trying to buy time. I've never been more out of my league, but I get to work, because if not me, then who? We start tearing through the systems. First problem's bad fuel filters, years overdue for replacement. Second, electrical corrosion from all the damp down there. No surprise, considering how neglected everything looks. Every little fix feels like a moonshot. We bypass the filters, clean contacts with whatever we've got, even use pieces of my own truck to patch things together. It's nuts. Maria's running back and forth, relaying updates. We have 45 minutes of battery left. Then people start dying. I'm sweating bullets, hands shaking, but somehow the second generator catches. The relief in the room is real. But one generator can't carry the whole hospital, and when we try to bring another online, power starts fluctuating, cycling ventilators off and on. That's when you realize what real stakes look like. Not money, not pride, just a line between life and death, and you're the one holding it. We worked through it, flushing cooling systems, jerry-rigging bypasses, even calling my old army buddy Eddie for advice. He's half a state away, but he talks me through some technical wizardry, reminds me to check for backup cooling pumps no one else even knows exist. Turns out, the third generator had an auxiliary system that maintenance never thought to use. We throw the switch, the temperature finally drops, and suddenly we've got 3 generators humming, power stabilized, and the crisis starts to feel survivable. For about 10 minutes. Then the real twist drops. Dr. Morrison, ICU chief, pulls me aside. There's a Jane Doe in critical care. Elderly, wealthy-looking, brought in alone, no ID. The power fluctuations nearly killed her. Maria mentions something about her car, expensive jewelry. I don't think much of it. But when the storm settles and I'm making my rounds, Margaret Fairfield, corporate suit, polite but sharp as a knife, shows up, wanting details. Fairfield Pharmaceuticals is the hospital's parent company. She asks about the woman in ICU 7, and a weird look passes between her and Dr. Morrison. It gets under my skin. Later, a nurse whispers she's seen the mystery woman in the news. And then my buddy Eddie texts me a link. CEO of Fairfield Pharmaceuticals, Victoria Fairfield, pictured at a press conference just months ago. It's her, in that hospital bed, fighting for her life on the juice I'd just barely managed to get flowing again. Suddenly, everything feels upside down. 20 years ago, Fairfield shut down their Redwater plant, laid off hundreds including my dad. He spent his last years broken, dying from the stress and shame, convinced he was just unlucky. But Eddie digs up old records, and it turns out the closure wasn't about money. The company had record profits, they just wanted a better deal, moved jobs overseas, and cashed in on state tax breaks. My old man never knew the truth. So now I'm staring at the woman who caused all that pain, and the only reason she's alive is because I didn't walk away. Feels like fate is laughing at me. Margaret comes down to the generator room, lays it all out. She knows who I am, knows about my father, says her mother will want to meet me when she wakes up. She even offers me a job, big money, real title, director of facilities for the whole company. Says I have a choice. Take what I deserve, or stand on principle. You ever just feel torn in half? I did. I spend hours in that basement, pretending to check readings while I try to wrap my head around it. Frank, the old maintenance guy, he gets it. Tells me about his own brother-in-law, another casualty of the plant closing. We swap stories, neither of us sure what justice looks like anymore. Eventually, Margaret corners me again. I ask for the truth about the layoffs. She admits, in a roundabout way, it was about profit, not necessity. I tell her that's not good enough. I want a public fund for laid-off workers, full health care, job retraining, a memorial for the families destroyed by their decisions. She hesitates, then says yes. Says her mother will agree, too. When Victoria wakes up, she asks for me. Turns out, she remembered my dad, called him one of the best they ever had. She owns up to her mistakes, says she regrets letting the board make those decisions. And she tells me, straight up, she can't undo what's been done but wants to give me the chance to protect other families from the same fate. That's the thing about life, right? Sometimes the people who wronged you end up needing you, and you have to decide what kind of person you want to be. I took the job, with conditions. Full autonomy, that fund for workers, the memorial. If I was going to work for the people who broke my dad, I'd do it on my terms, making damn sure no one else went through what he did. When I left the hospital, the sun was finally breaking through, the city still battered, but starting to heal. Carlos texted me, "Dad, you're a hero." And I guess for the first time in a long time, I believed maybe I could be. I still don't know if I did the right thing. Some folks will say I sold out, others that I took care of my family. Maybe the truth is, fixing what's broken takes more than just skill. It takes forgiveness, guts, and the hope that even the worst scars can lead to something better. So, what would you have done? If you had the chance to help your community, even if it meant shaking hands with the past? Let me know what you think, because honestly, in a world where right and wrong gets messy, maybe the only way forward is to talk about it together.